Last night we had the meeting up at the Ettalong Club, and also talk about the channel coming into Brisbane Water. What were your views on the meeting last night?
Yeah, the meeting last night, I was quite happy with the outcome at the end of the day, insofar as the community all got together. And from the speakers on the stage, the councillors and the local members, two of the local members, which I was pleased to see there, it tended to be, in my opinion, a bipartisan approach to getting the channel cleared. Not who's to pay for it or who's not to pay for it, whose fault is it. It was none of that. It was about let's get it open, whatever it costs. And because it is costing the community a fortune, we're still paying for that.
On that point, who do you believe should be financially responsible to keep that channel clear?
Oh, it's financially responsible. It is the state government. Without a doubt, the council's responsibility ends at the high water mark. And they say, well, the council didn't tell us that it needed dredging. Well, the council doesn't have a boat. How do they know how deep the channel is? And it's a total state government responsibility. I think it's a brilliant business plan by our state government to get ratepayers to pay the bills that they should be paying themselves. They collect 100% of the fees for wharves, moorings, boat registrations, any sort of paperwork, licensing fees. The state government collects all the money. The council gets none. So it's definitely a state government responsibility. But however, the time for arguing about that is now over, and the council, being the good council that they are, decided, well, we will pay to get it open because it's hurting our ratepayers.
Okay, let's talk about your business and just the business part of it, what your business is and what you do, some of the tools you do, just really briefly, and then we'll talk about how the channel affects your business. So let's just talk about how what kind of business you have and how it operates.
Yes, well, our business, we've been up here on the Central Coast since 1985. This is our 33rd year operating two vessels here on the Central Coast. And this vessel we're standing on now, it was purchased specifically to do what we call our Four Island trip, which is leaving from here. We do the Hawkesbury River, Broken Bay and Pitwell. It's one of the best boat trips in the country. And I'm not saying that because we do it, but it is because of where we go. However, that part of that particular trip is approximately 50% of the income stream of what this company earns. So it's the sandbar blocking, and this is the first year in 33 years that I've had to stop running because of navigational issues that could be addressed. So it's affecting our cash flow, but it's half of it's gone, which and not many people realise it's affecting the ferry companies. But the knock-on effect, my fuel supplier, he's not delivering as much fuel to me. The caterers that deliver for the, because we do catering on board and lunches and that, well, we're not placing in our orders with the chicken shops and with the suppliers. So our staff, they're not getting the casual staff that we have on the big trips like that, they're not getting the hours. So there's a knock-on effect throughout the whole community. This one's stinking sandbar.
Now, what would be the cost or the loss of income collectively that you would have amongst all your staff and everybody else and your suppliers over, say, a period of 12 months?
Well, over a period of 12 months, we'd be looking seriously down the high side of $250,000. It's costing me personally. Now, with overtime, I can't really get into the wages, but suppliers, once again, it'd be an equivalent amount, and just in diesel alone. All those things aren't happening, and the diesel's not to the big oil companies. It's to we had to use a local fuel nurse. He's a local guy that runs the fuel to the smaller operators such as ourselves, you know. And so the knock-on effect, it's in the millions, and I'm not an economist.
So that's in the millions really from just your own operation yourself.
Yes, just
what and of course there's the other commercial boat owners out there that run the ferry service and all that sort of stuff. Then also, of course, I guess you've got your recreational boaters as well. They're obviously affected by the closure of the channel.
Yeah, the recreational boat, the sailing club, the number of members, there's 5,000 members in that, over 5,000 in the sailing club. Well, they can't get their boats in and out. The Ettalong Palm Beach ferry service has been operating, this is 2 decades it's been operating across here. People have bought houses up here or taken on employment in the Brookvale area and vice versa. On the strength that their ferry service was operational. It is a government ferry service. Same as it's a government railway or a government bus run, it's a state government ferry operation, the Palm Beach to Ettalong service. So they own it, and they're not doing anything about it whatsoever. they're just ripping money out of the ratepayers, in my opinion.
And how do you feel that it should be addressed in the short term?
In the short term, I don't care who pays for it. If a benevolent millionaire out there, please put a dredge in. If there's a benevolent dredge operator out there, please put in a dredge and just open it up. But I don't really care at this stage. Let's get it open, argue about who's responsible and who's going to make the payments at a later date. But this is an urgency thing. And notwithstanding, just out there in the wall, there's a commendation for our company for the rescue work that we did during the '94 bushfires, when we were the only link. Our vessel was the only link operating between Brooklyn up here, getting people out that were trapped down there. And not the government ferries. They came up 3 days later when someone woke up to it. The government are very slow in waking up to anything, in my opinion. But so with the amount of bush that we have out here on the freeways, now the only the link, the safety valve during bushfire times is the waterways. And the government just doesn't want to know about it. Now, I think that they're doing a special course in stupid down there this year, but that's just my opinion. And it's a safety matter. And as mentioned last night at the meeting, if it carries on the way it is, there's not many people know that it has happened. There is no sign, there is no warning to mariners coming in. In a bad sea or southerly condition, we've got an east coast low coming up this weekend. It's deadly. People can get killed on that. They don't realise it's a marked navigation channel, and according to the Roads and Maritime Services Board, that marked channel indicates you can safely navigate through there. So they're telling people, come on in. And it's a silly situation. The other day when the Edelong Palm Beach ferry touched the bottom, the master of that vessel got fined $1,500 for hitting the bottom in the marked channel that the government told him to go through on the government ferry run. Now this is how stupid it is. So when the RMS going to get some common sense in there and put people that know about boats back into authority, instead of just getting career bureaucrats that just came out of the taxation office and into the RMS. The maritime has always been a specialty operation. It's about time they woke up to that fact.